Now, the sun is shining. For a lot of people, that means time to kick back with a glass of something cold, crisp, alcoholic. But with over a third of UK drinkers now regularly consuming low or no alcohol alternatives, it seems more of us are re-evaluating, shall we say, our relationship with booze. And Katie, well, she's thinking about it. You've kind of... You know, I made it quite dramatic, like, Katie gives up the sober summer. But actually, you said you were thinking about cutting down. Now you're thinking about trying to maybe stop.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to have become the focus for this topic. No, but I think you're right. I mean, I definitely, if I sort of examine my use of alcohol throughout the decades, it's changed for various reasons. And I have had that typical pattern when I was young of a binge drinker going out for, you know, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights, and then realising that's actually half the week. And then I think, you know, when I've had some real tough times in my life, I've probably used it almost like an anaesthetic to numb things, to fall asleep, maybe even for confidence in sort of work settings. Not 9 a.m. work settings, like evening work settings, just to caveat that. But I think also becoming a mum, you know, there's this kind of thing where you want to separate the adult time to the child time, and they go to bed and having a glass of wine.
Well, wine o'clock, isn't it?
Yeah. You don't want the kids to see you drinking all the time as well.
Well, it's more like they're in bed, and that mummy drinking time, that culture is actually quite normalised, where you say, well, it takes the edge off, it gives you your time in front of the sofa. And then you think, well, actually, if it's sort of 5-6 days a week, how is it making me feel? And I know for me, the next day I do suffer a bit from the blues. It does make me a bit depressed. So I have consciously tried not to drink, and I've been having like the 0 beers. And now I've announced on national telly.
And they taste the same as well, don't they? The 0 beers
they do
exactly
taste
the
the
same as
same.
ones with alcohol.
So I think if you're somebody that consciously has to try not to drink, things like the 0 beers really help. And now I've made a pledge on Loose Women to have a sober summer.
No, you haven't really. No, but you haven't really. But the fact that you said you're thinking about it and it's made you think about your relationship with drink. And Ochi was saying, you were nodding your head about when you become a mum, because I think a lot of people's drinking habits change then because you're not going out so much. You know, so maybe you then are having a bit of wine at home, but then you worry, like, oh, what if anything happens to the baby and I've had a few glasses of wine?
I think that is... I do love a drink and I love a good time. But
I used to drink a lot on Strictly as well.
Linda, you said you wouldn't tell anyone.
That's the number one.
The first time I met Linda, I was like so drunk. I was like, do not tell a soul about this. And now you've just gone and told the whole nation.
Yeah, we did party on
We
Strictly.
partied a lot. Yeah. It was our way to like calm down. We socialised. I mean, you are doing like a huge show with millions of people watching you. But that starts to become a culture, right? It becomes a culture of after I work, I go home, I calm down and I have a drink. And then you get used to it. And then once I became a mom, the fear started to come into me, like, OK, I'm drinking. What if she cries and I don't hear her in the middle of the night? What if I black out and I completely forget what happens when she needs me at that time? Sure. So now I love a non-alcoholic drink. I mean, I love, like...
Do you actually love it? You just taught yourself to like it?
No, I do love it. I'm still out. I'm still with my friends. But the next morning, I'm in control. I don't miss gym sessions. If she cries or because she's teething right now, I can still be there. And I think what causes me anxiety were those days where I would drink and you drink so hard and then you wake up in the morning, you don't remember what happened. Those, for me, is like, my anxiety is my anxiety. And I can't afford to be in that place anymore. So it's just
But Katie's, I know you said you were going to a concert. So you know, even when you make that decision, because I did Dry January for this show, we did an experiment.
Did you like it?
Colin hated it.
At least you're honest.
Yeah, I was very honest. I did it. The first 3 days I struggled and I worried. I thought, gosh, you know, I'm actually going, oh, I don't know what to do with myself this evening. It was like the wine fridge is calling me. And I had to kind of remove myself from situations where I would normally have a drink. Once I got over a couple, 2 or 3 days, I was fine. But I didn't come away from it going, oh, I felt so much better. Oh, everything tasted wonderful. Oh, I woke up with a spring in my step. I didn't really feel that much different because I don't think I drink that much. Yeah. But I do drink and I like a gin and tonic. And then I had friends around at the weekend. We drank way too much and then we had a great time. Yes. Just girlfriends, we laughed, we danced, but then Sunday, I'm going, oh, the hangover at my age now,
Yeah.
it takes out the day.
But that does sound worth it, though, because you had a positive experience and you
Yeah, but then there'll be
socialised.
people saying, you know, I'm not condoning drinking, obviously, it's everyone's personal choice, but there'll be people say, well, can't you have a good time without a drink, Ruth? I'm going,
Yeah.
no, not really.
Depends who the company is.
But Linda, you did give up completely, like, stopped.
Yeah, because I had really bad depression probably about 4 years ago, and I was drinking quite a lot. I was just trying to black out, really, because it felt like I couldn't get through the day. Well, I haven't drunk now for the last 4 years, and if I do have
That's
a drink...
amazing.
it'll be
Can we just say 4 years?
Brilliant. I'll have an alcohol-free shandy, so I'll have half a lager, alcohol-free, and then just top it up with lemonade, and it's just like a refreshing drink then, and I feel like I'm joining in with everybody else.
But you say it, Linda, as if it was the easiest thing.
Oh,
You
no,
just
it
go,
was
oh, yeah, I
hard.
just
It wasn't.
stopped. But that was not an easy time
I used to drink
for you.
wine every night, and I never drank of a daytime. I just 10 o'clock at night when the kids were all in bed and everything, and then I'd have a few spritzers.
I think
and
it's
then it
common.
became more than a few spritzers, and
Yeah.
that's when I decided, right, it's got to stop.
Yeah, and you just did that with willpower.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's quite something, I think. You know, some people really battle and relapse, and you must have good discipline then.
I have, I think. Once I've made up my mind about something, then I'll stick to it.
Yeah, and is life better?
It's the same, really. It's the same, but I just get through every day now. So, yeah, I'm really pleased that I don't drink anymore.
Good for
Because I
you.
wasn't the same person when I was drinking.
Yeah. I think that's the thing, isn't it? If it's changing your personality
Yeah.
or it's impacting your life badly,
Yeah.
then it's maybe time to think about what you're doing with
Yeah.
alcohol. And listen, to anybody who is trying to get sober, in the process of getting sober, or like Katie, just thinking of cutting down, we wish you well, and we're not in any way condoning drinking, just saying it's a very personal choice, isn't it? And if you are worried about your relationship with alcohol, go to our website, itv.com/helplines, and you'll find lists of organisations there that you can contact if you need some support.